Hey, what's going on? Hey, I know I usually do home inspection, house building videos, but I just did a what do you do with a 29-cent turkey, so I might as well do another one here. And, if you're going to mess up your kitchen, to do some preservation, you might as well just do it for a week straight, prepared for it. So the first one was a turkey, and this year, I don't know, this wasn't this year. These are, probably 2017 maybe. And so these are chicken breasts. And I know chicken breasts sometimes go on sale, right? And I don't know if I bought them on sale this time or not, but usually I do. When they go on sale, 99 cents, man, you buy a ton of them and you preserve them, okay? And so that's what I did here. And what I did here was I actually cut them up, and I would put them in a pan. I threw a bunch of whatever you want to throw in there, and kind of like I didn't cook them. I just seared them a little bit, give them a little color, a little texture, okay? And Sarah, you can see here where I bought these, and I paid $1.58 a pound, and that was expensive. Okay, that was expensive for 2017, but I would get them even cheaper than that, 69 cents, 79 cents when they have a lot of them, and when they're not in season. This was not in season, so I bought a bunch of these, and then you could watch videos on how to prepare your cans and heat them. I'm not going to do that. Just look that up on YouTube, how to pressure can. And then I also had a bunch of pork. Okay, so let's talk about what we did with this. We We're canning, like I'm trashing my kitchen. And now the meat, I would just put in the jars without any liquid whatsoever. Just the meat by itself, and it'll create its own juice. And then I would just do it for 90 minutes. Whenever you're doing meat, you got to go 90 minutes at whatever pressure. So, Cleveland, we're at 800 PS, we're at 800 feet, so 10 psi if you're in California. Up in the mountains, you're 15 psi. If you're down in Boston and you're at 5,000, for whatever, 500 elevation, you're at 5 psi. But most of the time, it's 10 psi. And here you can see my chicken. I just cut it up, seared it, and threw it in these jars, and that was it. And I did my whatever you want. Look up whatever you want your chicken to taste like. Whatever spice. I'm real big on garlic and onion, so of course I use that. I'm big on paprika. That's where you can see some of the color. Okay, and then this is what it looks like before it goes in a pressure cooker. I'll show what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, that's my pressure cooker, and you can see how my kitchen is really getting trashed, and it's ruining my microwave. I melted this thing here, and this is my small one. This is my small one. Yeah, I have a bigger one. Okay, no, that was my big one. And so here we're gonna do a couple things. We did the chicken, and now we're doing a pig. And so that was even less. That was cheap too. So I bought a lot of that. I'm gonna do beans with it, and you can make whatever you want. And here you can see I'm gonna do some with pig and some with beans, some without beans. And then there's my beans. And then I use tomatoes. So if you got your own tomatoes in jars, open them up and use them. Or if you just have tomatoes, go pick them and blend them up. I blend them up, sometimes with the seeds and skins. The only thing is, you know, I like to take the skins and seeds out now when I'm making sauce. But if you don't have time, that's fine. Blend it up so you're not getting. I don't like eating skin in my soup. And then of course there's my blender. That's the best blender to have. That's a Vitamix. I will leave some links below for some of these utensils if you can't find them. And what I would do here is I'm going to leave some of the onions in chunks and some of it blended up. And same with my peppers. And you got to always get lemon juice or lemon, because when you're doing tomatoes and meat and stuff like that, you got it. That's my preserve liquid here, and it's natural. And that way, because I'm going to put it in a can, in a glass container that might not be open for 5 years. Okay, I'm using molasses here instead of sugars. Okay, and so depending on how I make it, I'm starting to fill my jars up. Okay, and these are my garlics and my onions, and then I chop that up in a blender, so I have some little bit of chunky, and I fill up all the jars, and I'm not gonna. You make your own. You know what? You can look up your own recipes. I mean, it's all how you like to eat. You like it hot, you like it sweet, you like it garlicky. I like it garlicky, and I don't like it really hot. So, a lot of recipes don't work for me. I usually I'll look up a recipe and I'll copy 4 different people's recipe on a spreadsheet, and I'll look what's in common and what percentages. I use that, and then I modify it for me. So I never really use somebody's, and sometimes, I'll put some greens in there, and I'll pressure cook it. And then this would have been my pork and bean one. So I used, you can see that's how I do it. Okay, that's my recipe for this one here. All right, and you know what? Next year I'll make a new one. I'll never make the same thing. It'll never be the same ever again. And that's the fun part of preserving food. You're just like, oh man, the 217 was good. The pork and bean was amazing in 217, and it was a little bit too sweet in 218. And you know what? It's just kind of fun having different tastes, never having the same thing. And guess what? It's like a wine. They only make the wine once, right? That 21-year-old wine or that 15-year-old scotch is only, that's it. Once it's gone, it's gone. You don't try to reproduce it. That's how I am with my cooking. Oh, here we go. So this is what the pork and beans look like. Oh man, I know that don't look good, but they are good. This is a good batch for me. And then these were the pork and beans. And so something you learn too, like here you could see maybe I should have put more liquid. You know what's great about those beans is that if you don't soak them, they might be a little crunchy, and it's almost enough time to cook, but you can't put too many beans in there. So this would have been like just a quarter of the bottom or less, because the beans get big. Now what I've been doing lately is actually washing the beans the night before and giving them all day to soak, and that makes them big already. So then you got to change up your recipe. So it depends on how you do it. Okay. And of course I wash everything. There's my beans, and that is what my chicken looked like at the end. All right. And then that you just take you just put that away, and man, one day you want some chicken, pulling them up. You want some I don't do macaronis and things like that. I got to cook those from scratch, but that's pretty quick. Rice, I've learned to can rice too. It's a little squishy with the rice, but I do dry can rice, and I dry can sugars and things like that. And there's a lot of reasons why you want to dry can it and not leave it in a container, sit in your basement for 6 months. Lots of reasons. And so anyways, by the way, I do have a service for all my home inspection issues, any house issues. I've been debating. I was in the business for, 40 years, 18,000 homes. So Google Clevelandmarko, M-E-R-K-O, call Marco with a question. Yes, it's going to cost you $29. I'll solve your house problem, whatever it is. Within 15 to 20 minutes, you can send me some photos or some correspondence. Also down below, I'll have some links, and like maybe this bottom here, I won't put the jars in there because you can get them cheaper garage sales, but the lids are expensive. Last year it was almost impossible to get the lids because people were hoarding them. So you always got to buy stuff when everyone else isn't buying them. It's like right now it's hard to get pressure cookers. Gee, I wonder why. But so you want to buy stuff when to get it, when it's cheaper. You want to prepare ahead. You got to be the ant, not the praying man. Is it the praying mantis? He doesn't collect food. He just eats and dies off, right? So you got to preserve, prepare, and if you want to save money, you got it. You can't do it in season, okay? So hey, thanks for coming on. Please rate, subscribe, hit the button for future videos. Most of my videos this winter are all about houses, and this summer I'll get into this because this is all part. Your house is your environment that keeps you alive. You want to live in your house. You want to get sick in your house. I'm going to have a lot of videos on how to be healthy in your house and what causes problems and sicknesses and ailments and things like that. But guess what else is in your house? This food. If you prepare your own food, you know what's going on. Like obviously you saw I bought that food, but lately, I've been getting my food, my meats and chickens from the Amish, and so I go visit my chickens, before I buy them. I see what they're eating, So you kind of work up. It's all baby steps. I don't like to open cans up, like metal cans that you get in stores. I don't like boxes. I do freeze. I do dehydrate. And I pressure cook, mostly pressure cook, not so much canning. That's 2 different processes. And to learn about all that stuff, everyone's got it on the internet, so just check it out. So hey, thanks for coming on. Please rate, subscribe, hit the bell for future videos, and call Mark with a question if you can't solve your house problem. Also, Clevelandmarko is my channel, and if you go into the search section, you can punch in whatever you want. I have like 1,000 videos. I'm sure your problem you're looking for is in one of my videos. Thanks for coming on.